So I have to admit, I feel like such an idiot. I came home absolutely exhausted after a long trip. But instead of going to bed, I decided to start transferring files from one laptop to my editing laptop. I should have just did a at least a copy because it would have saved it. I cut the folder from my desktop to transfer it over completely and completely forgot the transfer was still happening and shut the laptop halfway through, causing when I realized it to turn it on, the entire folder disappeared. So I spent the next 2 days trying everything I could because I have in the past recovered files before, so I do know how to do it. But I tried doing hidden files. Um, I tried read because you can, for those who know, even a lot of times when you delete off a hard drive, still go in and recover it, you know. So I did that, searching both laptops, external drives, memory cards, spent hours doing that, and unfortunately I wasn't able to recover the folder. So at this point, all I have left is whatever photos and videos happen to have been on my phone. And I did take some really great videos. So I really want to kick myself for that. It's definitely a painful lesson learned. Um, and I won't make that mistake again. Okay, now I'm going to talk about when we first arrived. I was overwhelmed by the amount of tourists, eco tourists, all
Oh yeah, there
and
was lots going
YouTubers.
on at the airport. But I remember when we came in and that, you get your passport checked and then you get checked again, and then you get checked again. I don't know what the heck's going on. You get checked about 4 times.
Yeah, your
But that
passport keeps
girl
getting checked.
sat there in that little kiosk.
Uh-huh.
It was the girl when we were leaving. It was as miserable as sin. Unbelievable.
I know, they're just so
I'm like,
grumpy.
what the fuck? Who died?
Who died?
I'm just going to say condolences when we leave if it's there again. She'll go, what do you mean? I'll go, well, someone's obviously died. No one can be that fucking miserable.
And then
If not, someone needs to die. Sorry.
our taxi driver, I mean, we had it in writing 50 US, and from what I looked, that's how much most people are being charged, is 50 US, right?
Yeah.
But then when we got here, then the guy said 60 US, and when he locked the door and said you're paying 60 US, I was starting to freak out. I'm like, he's literally locking us in.
Look, yeah, I'm 58. Do you think we're going to get out and sprint off somewhere?
I know. Well, considering
Probably could.
Well, considering it was arranged by the car rental company, and he claims that him and the car rental company, they're always doing that, but it's 50 US, that's how much we even paid last time to get to the airport, was 50 US dollars, and then when he was claiming in that tiny little, whatever, yellow car, that he transports, government officials all the time, I'm like going, yeah, right. Diplomats.
I'm like, this is a 19-year-old boy racer's car who,
It was like
he had things dangling everywhere. 61 air fresheners. It was stinking.
But it was the
Of air
tiniest
freshener.
little car ever.
Diplomats. The diplomat would just laugh and go, get me a real car.
Yes. Exactly.
Get me a real car.
Now, due to the recommendation of Let's Get Oily, and I am going to in the bottom put a link to his YouTube channel because just the way he laughs is worth the watch. But he has pretty good videos, I think. Because of his recommendation and the previous first trip we had in February to Guyana, all it did was recommend us, what was it, KFC, um, Burger King, and Fireside Grill. That was it with Google, and we were using Google. So we decided we didn't want to just keep eating that because we don't even eat that at home, so we hated it. So he recommended we go to Roti Hut. So I'm going to just let you see a preview of it, but I'm going to put a link to his videos so you can watch them because, like I said, I definitely think it's worth a view to watch his videos. Now, I'm going to, for some, I hope he doesn't mind, but I think he has a good humor. I'm going to do to his video just some comments. And as for the picture I've placed here, notice the bear. Okay, I put the bear in his hands. According to Wayne, it's a disgusting bear. My dad has never, he's not a beer drinker. He doesn't even drink alcohol. But when he was younger, I guess he was really smart because he was one of the founding investors in, there's a DH Bank. So my daughter actually has inherited, and she's only 14 years old, so we'll see how that works. But she's inherited a lot of stocks in DH Banks. So the little girl who now is 14 and, you know, talks back to me is, well, she's pretty much set. Anyways, okay. So drink up, you alcoholics, and let's begin.
This city is grimy as hell. The more I explored, the grimier it got. It's like being in the hood, but the entire city is like that. This place was wild. Piles of trash and sewage water was all over the place. I mean, I've been to a lot of grimy places, but I've never seen anything like this. Beggars were bitter and aggressive. Pain and misery was evident. As I walked around, locals would just yell at me, out of nowhere, for absolutely no reason. It was savage. I cannot pretend not to be shocked.
So he is totally right. The first time in February, it was a shock having people, like, you just hear people screaming at you. You don't know why. Lucky I had a hard time understanding most people because, to be honest, I was too scared to know what they were screaming half the time. There is a lot of beggars, and that's very sad. The street, yeah, it's dirty, which is, that's sad because when you look at videos too of Guyana in the, what is it, in the 60s and 70s, it was actually clean under British rule, and it was called the Garden City back then. So it is sad. Even the teacher, and I'll explain to you who the teacher is that I'm going to talk about later, but the teacher I met, and she's just probably a bit younger than my parents, said, yeah, it once used to be called the Garden City of the Caribbean, and now it's like this. And the lady that I rented the Airbnb from, she grew up in Guyana, but now she lives in New York, and she told me that it's the trenches, they're for, because Guyana is, I can't remember, so many feet actually under sea level, and those are supposed to be cleaned, and they have not been cleaning them. And I guess the machinery that's supposed to work to also help pump doesn't work, which is shocking because here's Guyana, the politicians are making money and Guyana's making money, and they haven't invested anything into that. And then what she says, and because of that, because she told me that the water actually should be flowing and it isn't. And she goes, because of that, then you get some people, then they just start tossing trash in it. And to be honest, one day we were in the car in Georgetown sitting there, and I had to turn my face immediately. There was a guy urinating in the water. So that's pretty disgusting.
And people are black, Indian, and Asian. That's right. And of course, native from.
Okay, as for the ethnic groups in Guyana, there's East Indian, African, mixed, indigenous Amerindian, Chinese. What he forgot is there is people who are Portuguese, and they were primarily descendants of immigrants from Madeira. You can look my other videos. I've explained that. Chinese, of course, and then white and European. Now I also see, and I did investigate and I did read also, a lot of people on these forums, they ask why do Guyanese separate Portuguese from white Europeans. It actually was not Guyanese who did that. It was the British who made a different category for the Portuguese, because the Portuguese went to Guyana as also indentured servants. And the Portuguese and the Chinese back then were the ones that after were opening businesses. Like I said, I'm not going to right now get into that because my previous video I explained that a bit more. But there is a lot of people don't realize that, or that there is Portuguese. There were rights. Alex Power, if you look him up, he's a YouTuber. He is born in Guyana of British parents. He left when he was 12 years old, went to Australia, and now he's back again. Now, something really funny that happened to us. Alex, well, it was that Roti Hut, which is one of the recommendations which we went to. We were in Roti Hut, and it was hilarious because this guy came in and he had red hair. As Wayne said, he looked Scottish, and he was expecting him to speak with some sort of Scottish accent. And then when he started talking, he had a Guyanese accent, and I died laughing because Wayne said he needs to cut off his red hair. But anyways, yeah, so um, the main races are East Indian and Black, but that's why, there is, it's 7 ethnic groups in Guyana, but like I said, the British never counted Portuguese with being the same as them. So that's why Guyanese, when they classify them, have them separately from Europeans. And that was due to the British, not to the Guyanese people themselves.
Places, but I've never seen anything like this. Beggars were bitter and aggressive. Pain and misery was evident. As I walked around, locals would just yell at me out of nowhere for absolutely no reason. It was savage. Another observation I had on my first day here was that I've never seen so many people shit in public in such a small amount of time. That's right, hands down, dropping a load in broad daylight in the middle of the sidewalk. Just like that, no fucks given. But not just that, dudes with huge out, peeing in the middle of the street, facing the traffic, purposely flashing their I've seen it more than once, in just 1 hour. As entertaining as it can be, I cannot pretend not to be shocked. It was obvious that there was no intention for discretion. They made sure that their pain was felt. Oh, I felt it alright. I wish I could have filmed all these things I've seen, but it was quite complicated and dangerous to get this all on camera, as you can imagine. Now, I don't want to shit on anyone. No disrespect to the people of Guyana. I'm not trying to paint a bad picture here. Those are just my first impressions. And as always, let's not jump to conclusions right away. Anyways, I'm not here to judge anyone. At the end of the day, everyone's born normal, and you just become a product of your environment. And life seems pretty rough here. So,
Okay, so thankfully, in neither of my trips in February or just recently have I seen anyone defecate on the streets. But I have seen, and I quickly have to turn my head. I have seen people whip it out, man, and like I said previously, I saw one peeing in the water, which I'm like, oh, but they do that, and yeah, that's sort of strange. The first trip we were on in February, we were shocked when we saw someone taking a bat right on the street, right outside the prison. Very interesting. Not.
Judge a book by its cover. Anyways, that's that. And now I've got someone special to meet. So if you could excuse me for a second, please.
Oh, well, welcome to Guyana, my friend. Let me greet you with a cold one. Banks, one of the local people's favorite.
Holy
Here we
shit.
go, my friend.
Oh wow! Hey, thanks, PA! Oh, party animal! Yeah,
The Ramo guy.
yes! Oh yeah!
I'm in heavy heat, man.
Hell yeah!
Heat, that's for sure.
Oh yeah!
And like I said here, drink up, because my little daughter, who's 14, Vitalia, she thanks you from the bottom of her heart because the incredible amount of shares that she has in that company, and it pays quite well per month. So she's set. So keep drinking up, everybody.
We're gonna get down at the Roti Hut.
Roti Hut, not Pizza Hut. Oh hell yeah. Word up, this place is legendary in Georgetown. Everybody recommends it. They say they got some of the best rotis in town. Oh yeah. Let's get oily.
Hey, what's up, PA? Oh yeah, PA.
Oh yeah, check this out, guys. This is insane. I got everything over here. Beautiful roti. This is a chicken curry with the wrap.
I got the mutton curry and another roti as well. Yeah, so Party Animal got the pepper pot. That's a chicken pepper pot.
Looking insane, huh?
The traditional dish of Guyana.
Yeah.
You apparently can't come here without trying one of those.
You got that right.
Bon appetit, my friend.
Oh yeah, you guys heard it. Bon appétit, mon cher. Yeah, that's a traditional dish of Guyana, the pepper pot. It's an honor to be here. We're gonna devour and get down and oily. Look at that oil. Oh, there's so much oil, so much oil. Look at that oil ring. Wow, this chicken roti is gonna be insane. Oh yeah, so we're gonna dive right in. Bon appétit.
Bon appetit.
So I haven't had mutton in a long time, and I love mutton. It's so pungent. It's not everybody's favorite cup of tea, but I love mutton. Oh my god, it's so good. This curry is insane. Oh, outstanding. I mean, yeah. That mutton is just falling off the bone. The flavor of the curry is just out of this world. Now I got a little piece of roti and so much liquid to dip it in. Alright, just the curry juice. You can almost sip it like a broth. Oh, that's nice. Oh, Guyanese food is next level, guys. This is how you want your plate to look like when you're finished. No meat, no juice, nothing. No roti, just bones. Was insane.
Okay, Roti Hut. It is a really nice place inside. They have all sorts of pastries, breads. If you're looking for a cheap coffee, it's a good place to go. They have Keurig and they have brewed. We were going there quite a bit because, we were like, well, we don't really know places around there. It's good. Let's go there. And we met this lovely lady. She is, if you ever go, she's usually there in the afternoon. She is so nice. She's been there since the 90s. She is Indo-Guyanese, and she does talk with a British accent because she did live and grew up in the UK, but she told us that in the 90s she got married to someone who's Guyanese and came back there. She is, like I said, such a lovely person. And she's, if you're a traveler and she sees you, she begins a conversation, and, you have any question, she helps you, she gives advice. She is so nice. They even have, they know her quite well there because they even have a little thing set up for her so she could plug in her laptop as she goes there in the afternoon and works. A place to sit down and work. So, that was nice. Now, as we kept going back, one thing we did realize is that the women who work there, they do seem quite grumpy. But if you're Guyanese and you talk with a Guyanese accent, no matter, like I said, the red-headed guy, he spoke with a very thick Guyanese accent, and they smile and joke with him. But, what we saw is like ourselves when other, you know, um, travelers, tourists come there. If you don't have that accent, they're not as pleasant to you and they don't smile at you much. Um, if you look at the reviews, if you actually go on Google reviews, I wasn't shocked to see that we were not the only people who noticed that, you know. So I guess you just have to be thick-skinned and go, well, that's the way it is. You know, it's very different because, as you know, if you come from, North America or any other place, Cuba, Caribbean, places that cater to tourists, Europe, they're friendly. You go into stores, it's hospitality, but it's not the case in Guyana with, businesses thinking about hospitality and, but at the same time, after we did go to this place called Roti Plus, I mean, they don't have the same decor. They're not, it's not the same as for decor or a place to sit. But the woman who works there, they are so completely nice. They actually will explain what everything is to you. So, I mean, sadly, we only found that place the last 3 days before we had to leave. But you know what? I just thought that was a fantastic place because I love customer service. Okay, so if you've seen my videos before, you know that my dad, the story with my dad's house in Guyana, he's not seen it since 1971, but there's still a lot of history there. He was paying this guy to take care of it for him, and it was rented out. The top half was rented out for a long time. The guy would be getting money for renting it. My dad was sending him money for all the repairs that the guy claimed he was doing. I'm just trying to quickly summarize it, but it's a whole mess. And last time when I went in February, I was shocked to find out the guy was telling everybody it was his property, that he owned it, and he was making promises to people that he would sell it, which isn't the case, obviously. Anyways, that guy died a week before my dad, so whatever plans he had for that, obviously, he couldn't complete it. I guess karma got to him before. But anyways, February, the women or the people who were at the top, right? And I knew they have not been paying rent, didn't even know who they were. They seemed to be able to avoid me. But this time I went back, was able, because the lawyer already has it, that it's my residence now in Guyana. So the bottom half has not been lived in for such a long time. I don't even know how long. But years ago in the 60s, it was my dad's sister, my Aunt Edna, that used to live at the bottom, and my parents were living at the top. So there was only the gate in the front that had padlocks. The back door or the main door wasn't locked, so we were able to open up the padlocks and even change the padlocks there and go inside. Now I did, once again, I feel like kicking myself because I did use my Sony. I got amazing photos for everybody to, see. Even the first time I was going in, and I once again accidentally deleted everything. I can't believe I did that. I could kill myself for that. Anyways, lucky I actually had something on my phone. So this is bad, but at least it's something. This is from off my phone, and I'll let you see this. This is the bottom half, and I will tell you what I will be doing with the bottom half in a moment. I was just thinking, my little daughter, she's only 14, but if she wasn't 14, I would take a loan from her because my dad has set her off. I'm really happy because it makes me happy that, even my share of the house, I am going to renovate it and everything will go to the kids, right? And that's going to be, once I'm finished with it, it's going to be an investment property for them. It's an Airbnb at the top. I'll rent it out, but mostly for for us. Anyways, as you can see, it needs a lot of repairs. And I have to come back here. I have a lot to do here. But when we go back, we will start handling the repairs. Well, begin the repairs that it needs. The first thing is the roof needs to be done. As you can see, it's in bad condition. The water tank, the woman at the top was telling me that the guy that my dad trusted, for some reason, removed and took away the water tank. All the pipes he broke up for whatever reason, I don't know. The foundations at the side has to be repaired. It has to be all re-cemented. Everything has to be done. There's a lot of work, but it's going to be a work of love because I love my dad. I know this house meant a lot to him because I don't know if you saw the front house at the front. That used to be my grandparents'. But this one he actually designed himself when he was younger. So it's sort of like a work of love. I want to, honor my dad, and this is how I'm doing it. Where's this calendar from? I have no clue. Okay, I did find out that there was one other person after who lived there, after my aunt. Luckily, I did this on my phone because I don't have the good video that I did of it, but like I said, at least I had this one. Now, the school itself, I didn't even know. There's a long story. It seems a lot of people have coveted my dad's house because in 2005, it went to court. He had to get a lawyer because the woman who my aunts and uncles sold my grandparents' house to, she's a lawyer. She tried to take my dad to court to force him to sell his house to her. And my dad won in court. I mean, that's ridiculous. Like, most people think that's ridiculous, but she lost. But she tried to get it forced that my dad would have had to sell because she wanted the entire property. I found out she rents. She's the owner of the lot in front now, and the school rents it from her. Now, one thing, I really don't like people who are underhanded. The school themselves, they actually have to do all the repairs on the house itself because she just basically, told them she only cares about the property. She doesn't care about the house, so they have to do that. The school wanted to also buy my dad's property because Mr. Woon, he lied to them claiming it was his house and promising them that it would be sold. But like I said, I'm going to be keeping it in the family. It's going to be the kids when they're adults. Well, that's theirs. But it's not about making money at all. But when I found that out, and I know they want to extend their school, and I like their whole philosophy of their school. I mean, the owner is a teacher. She lives in New York, and her son runs it. And the whole idea of the children that go there, it's to actually teach them, that they are, all one. The kids are absolutely, I saw them, the ones that were having summer school, they're really being brought up with great manners. They're polite and they're learning that, because right now, I mean, tourism Guyana and YouTubers don't want to say it, but Guyanese people are very divided. And wow, I've seen lots of examples of that even when I was there. But they teach the kids that, no, you're one and the same, all one, same culture. And I could really stand behind that. My mom was a teacher. My aunt Edna was a teacher. Although my Uncle Charles, like my dad, eventually got into charter account. He became a charter accountant too. He was also a teacher. Now the school did offer to, pay for rent and rent the bottom to extend it's a private school into a daycare. Don't want any money for that. honestly, because it's not about making money. And the way I was brought up by my parents, I think it's something that they would actually have loved to do. So, you know, the bottom is for the school, you know, and the owner even said that what they'll do to honor my parents is to also, place things around in the school, to honor them in that area. So I'm totally happy with that. Now, I am, I lost all the top is a 3 bedroom. There's the person who was renting it, the aunt, moved out, I found out years ago. And then the nephew, his mom, and his girlfriend moved in, so they haven't been paying rent. I was able to actually get a hold first of the girlfriend who was there. I had to go on the weekend, and when she asked me who I was, I had to say plain blank, "It's the owner. Open. I need to speak to you." She did offer to leave in a month, right? I don't know. I'm the type of person that they're not paying rent, I know, but I can't. I know it's hard for people to find places, and I gave them 3 months, and they've, I do feel they'll honor it, and they have till November. I gave them the date. At that time, because I have things to do here, I'll go back, and get things done, and you know have it all sorted out. And next time it won't be an Airbnb that we're staying at. We'll stay there and start getting work done. Um, Once again, this is from my phone. So I used the Sony camera, got really great videos because I saw it on the laptop when I placed it on the other laptop. Um, so I had great videos of it, but this is actually from my phone. So at least you'll see the bathroom and the kitchen area, and I'll show you some concept photos that I got AI to do for me for how I want to change it to. Well, this is, like I said, sorry, on my phone, but this is the bathroom on the top level where, the first day I put it on my phone because there's those people living there. I, anyways, it's it's interesting. Anyways, I guess I'm not used to seeing you know, the shower. Then there's these little washing machines that they have. They use a lot in Guyana, which I'm used to, a washer and dryer. I even went into a store, asked them, "Do you have an apartment size washer and dryer?" Because eventually I'll be placing that in. Well, it'll just have to be a washer because I found out they don't have dryers there in Guyana. Um, this is so cool. I mean, this is obviously, it hasn't been maintained, because the guy who was, that my dad was giving the money under the impression my dad was sending money. I know I was there personally a lot throughout the years for this to be maintained, and he was just keeping all the money. I mean, a huge argument. He blocked my dad when my dad even asked him for his bank passbook so he could go through these transactions. Um, at the same time, here now, the lady who I was talking to there, who's her sister was the one who was the actual tenant who had moved out. She told me that this guy told them, literally, that he doesn't want them doing any type of renovations because as the owner, he's not going to be paying for the renovations. It's like the audacity to say that. You were demanding, it's not your house. You've told everybody it was. And then you're telling people that, after taking all the money for years for this house to be kept up, you were telling them, the woman's sister not to do anything to it because it would have to come out of your pocket. Well, I guess my dad raised you and your kids because he was paying you, quite a bit. And like my dad said in one of the documents, because my dad was preparing to sue you, that you had a sweetheart of a deal. Anyways, I'm now going to show you, because I was using AI to generate the ideal of how I want to renovate it to. As for the apartment style washer and dryer, found that you cannot get those in Guyana because they don't use dryers. So, I could import it, but if they don't use dryers there, and I heard, and I did look it up, electricity is actually even more expensive in Guyana than it is in North America. Go figure. But, yeah. So this is the concept. I love clean lines, except for the renovation the renovation I'm doing right now is a little bit different, and I'll eventually post that when it's finished. That's in Saskatchewan, the one I'm working on right now, which used to be old Canada Post Office, and I'm doing that into a residential house. But I do love just clean lines. So here's the concept that was done by ChatGPT. We also went looking around at different stores to see, the different options of, furniture and things we're going to need to buy when we get back there. There's some really good stores. So, one, I can't remember the store that has the gas range, but the other store is Home Sense in Amazonia. I said, yeah, Amazonian Mall, because we were always at Starbucks there every single day. Now, there's this place, I forgot what it's called. I know the guy on Facebook calls himself Wang Wang, and it's on Alexander Street in Georgetown. I'm going to show you, just from his dance alone, I am going to buy some stuff from him, especially a TV, because, yeah, we need a TV and an AC and everything else.
Hello, it's me again, Wang. So much people ask Wang from Smart TV. Alright, now I get a scalable brand for the Smart TV. Now the Smart TV will use Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, Google, YouTube, nothing for what you want to use. And now I get some new one for coming for RD size. Okay, this is 32 size. This coming clean by 2 keys. And these are 40 inch coming for clean for 2K too. And now from 43 inch, this coming for 4K. When you watch a TV, then people look like by you in front of you. And I get a 50 inch and me get more for 55 inch, and me get more for 60 inch, and me get more for 65 inch, and this size is for 75 inch, and I get a big one for 100 inch too. So much people ask me for one when you get TV for Gami back. Now you will see now, and you'll get nice price for one. So when you need any TV, you'll come to one.
So anyways, like and subscribe, and you can come along with my journey because, like I said, and I have learned my lesson. I won't be deleting anything off my camera, so I will have videos for you on the next trip back to Guyana. Plus, I have to tell you guys about my experience at the airport. You know, but with Caribbean Airlines and this lady who seemed to be extremely angry just from hearing the way I talk compared to the way she talks. She just didn't like me and what she did to me. Anyways, like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you around. And as I recover from what an idiot I was deleting crap.